Okay, so can we get a motion to come out of camera and then we'll, oh, we're missing Rod. What happened to Rod?
He got up and left. He'll be back. I think he's going to phone Chris.
Okay, did you guys have to click, go to the main room, or did you guys just come over automatically?
I usually click leave.
You had to click leave? I'm wondering if
No,
you.
I normally do because of all the Zoom meetings.
Oh, there he is. Okay, so who would like to make a motion to come out of camera? Then we'll take a break. Michael's making a motion to come out of camera. All in favor? Okay, it's carried. Let's take, what time is it? It's 9:52. We'll come back in around 10 o'clock. Then we'll do our MLA agenda item and we'll make the motion also. So just so that you can be ready for the motion, Nancy, I'll give you the motion.
You want to stop recording?
Well, no, we'll make, oh, I am recording. Oh.
You were recording that whole time. You were gone.
Oh. Oh, okay. Is it? And it's still record. I hit the stop button. Let me just recording again, and I will make the motion that I've already given. So perhaps you could read it back for us, Nancy.
Okay. That council direct administration to work with Canadian Fiber Optics on the Universal Broadband Fund application and to explore revenue sharing possibilities.
Okay. Does that work, Rod? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that motion passes. All right, now moving on to our next agenda item is the MLA letter. Can I get a motion on this item? Councillor Gilroy?
Okay, I make a motion that the council hold an open discussion on writing a letter to MLA Pat Rain.
All right. Okay, we can start with that. And okay, so just as a quick recap, we know that Slave Lake has written a letter to the MLA asking him to resign. They are looking and have asked for other communities to sort of follow suit or at least support their motion in some way, shape, or form. We have heard, we've had, since that letter came out, we've had our MLA reach out to us in many different ways. So we've had some, discussions that, he's heard the concerns and he wants to do better, or he says he's going to do better. So I guess, where do we want to go from here with this particular topic? Councillor Gilroy?
I will just give my 2 cents worth and then I will let everyone else do their talking. My suggestion is that if we are to write a letter, then we write a letter that is a balanced letter, a letter that says, yes, our community is disappointed in his performance so far, however you want to word that. However, we want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and we want to encourage him that if he is truly going to change, as he is stating, that we actually see something concrete happen in our region. In other words, it's the idea of we're Missouri, the show me state. Words at this point in time really don't mean a thing. We want to actually see some action from the MLA, where he shows up at meetings, where he does some things does the normal things that an MLA would do. So however you want to word that, I'd like to be very positive, say that we are giving him another shot at it, that we will hold him at his word. But at the same time, if he does not come through, then we will indeed hold him more accountable before his term is up. So however you want to word that, that's my 3 ideas in there. I believe he needs a second chance. I don't want to ask for his resignation, but I want to give him a chance to change what he's been doing and actually do what an MLA should do. So I want to encourage him that way to do that.
Okay, I see Councillor Long's got his fingers up.
So up until just minutes ago, actually, I've been receiving texts, and another one I just received was on Facebook, and there's a sign there, a couple of signs now outside of Pat Rain's offices asking for a missing persons report and for him to resign. That's just within the last couple of minutes. So my position, my personal belief is send his ass out the door packing. But that doesn't do us much good. Secondly, my personal belief is not what's in the best interest for the people of this community. What I personally believe and what I think we should do are 2 different things. The sad fact of the matter is, he has conscientiously made his performance is what he thinks is just the bare minimum that he needed to do. He is not a good representative for our community. I know this. That being said, we have no authority. We can't force him out. And even if we could force him out, we as a council, and Rod and I talked about this, we as a council are a council of 2,500 people. That's our constituent base. Of that constituency base, how many of those people would support our initiative if we could to get rid of them? 40%, 50%, 60-40? But we would, in doing that, even if we could kick him out, we'd be disenfranchising everybody else who voted for him. That's not our job. Our job is to hold his feet to the fire, take him to task. I don't need to be nice to him. I've been very firm with him already and told him that he is the worst MLA I've seen. And we've had probably 2 of the best MLAs to represent this community. So he was a fly-in candidate. Kenny brought him in. He got in. Don't know him. I know I don't like him. I've listened to him. I've listened to him try to talk, and I heard him say that the letter from Slave Lake will do them no good whatsoever. This is not going to be good for them at all. And I said, by that, you mean that they're not going to get anything from the government? He said, why would we? And he said, and then further to that, he said, and those people who support him, those councils and communities that support Slave Lake, it would do them no good at all. So knowing me the way you know me, you know how I probably responded to that. The bottom line is that we have Big Lakes County and the other outlying areas voted this man in. And he's got 1.5 years to prove himself, 2 years. We need to send a letter harsh to him and clear as to what our expectations are, Brian. I absolutely agree. But over and above that, we could ask for his resignation till the cows come home. He's already stated he is not going to resign. Kenny does not want to have a by-election here because he'll lose the seat, and he knows that. So it's not going to happen. I say that we write a letter in the harshest terms, strongest terms possible to let him know. This isn't about rocks and glass houses. This is about our MLA not performing the job that his constituents need. Not want, need. And so, you know, going to Texas to run his business at the expense of his constituents is no excuse. Like anybody else, he should have assigned that business to somebody else to run while he took office. And so that was his choice to make, and he didn't do it. So will he do anything for us? He hasn't done anything for us now. He's saying how he got us the dog handler. He's saying how he got us dialysis. That's what he told me. Word for word. I got you this. I got you that. I've been working hard on getting the hospital demolished. I have that for you. If you replace me with somebody else, who knows where that's going to happen? Okay. How long have you been working on it, Councillor Gilroy? Pretty much since day one. So Pat Rain is taking your credit. So as much as I'd like to punt his ass out, we can't. So we need to follow through with that and support Slave Lake in so much as we can in our displeasure of his performance and our expectations that they're going to be higher. That's the reality. We don't have a lot of choices. We can send the harshest letter in the world. It's not going to do us any bit of good. But like Councillor Gilroy said, and Brian, you and I disagree on this guy wholeheartedly. I think he's a scumbag, but that's just my opinion. I've heard maybe, I don't know, but we have to come forward with a I think a balanced letter, one that's harsh maybe or strongly worded, critiquing his performance and what our expectations are.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I see Donna, you had your hand up.
Yes. I had sent everybody a copy of a letter or whatever you want to call it after I had talked to Pat Wren. I don't know what people thought of the letter. Nobody responded saying yay or nay. The unfortunate thing is that we have been put into a precarious situation by the government in that they're reaching out to us saying, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this for you. And my question is, if we do what? If we don't rock the boat, you're going to be nice to us? If we don't do what Slave Lake did, saying we want him to resign, et cetera, et cetera. So that puts us in a somewhat precarious position. And the other thing is we have to acknowledge the fact that many of our, well, I would say 95% of our constituents are extremely pissed. And we can't not acknowledge that. The letter that I sent didn't necessarily list grievances, etc., but I think I explained myself and what I was feeling. And I think we need to send something saying that basically what my letter said.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know how many people read the letter because I got no response.
Okay, thank you, Donna. I did read the letter, and I think, I mean, basically what you were asking for is you know, it's what we've been talking about, saying, you know, we're not happy with your performance, and we're willing to work with you moving forward. in a nutshell. I'm giving you the nutshell, right? And that's what Councillor Long and Councillor Gilroy have said also. So it's along those same lines. Councillor Courtley or Stenhouse, do you want to chime in? No? Oh, Judy, go ahead.
It's true. He has been absent, and we need to address his absentee representation, his action. However, we have to move forward. We can't be stuck here. We can't oust him. We have to give him a chance to put his words into action. I know it's frustrating from everything that's going on, but I'm willing to see what he has to offer. He was put there to represent us, so let's see him represent us now. We're voicing our concerns, and we want to see action.
Okay, so are you supporting or suggesting a letter go to him saying that we're unhappy but we're willing to work with you?
Oh, for sure. For sure. We have to address the issue here. We're not just going to walk away. We're going to address the issue. And let's see where we are in 6 months from now, 18 months from now. Let's see what he has to offer.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Courtley?
Okay,
Run him out on a rail. He hasn't done anything anyways. What's the difference?
in looking at Donna's letter and reading Donna's letter, extremely well written, and it addresses the points and it ends in a positive that we'll work with you and expect you to work with us. And it doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that is because that is the response I've got from everybody that I have talked to.
Me too. Yeah.
Is like, enough is enough. I don't want this guy representing us anymore. Get him out of there. All kinds of, I've had multiple texts, emails, all kinds of stuff saying, how come Slave Lake beat us to the punch? You know, that blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Get on board with Slave Lake.
There's all of that.
But my personal views is still give him a chance. I got to take the high road. I really do. Write the letter, explain that the majority of his constituents are absolutely displeased with him, and he's got to put in more face time, more shoulder time in his constituency, and get doing what he said he was going to do from his campaign. Give him a chance.
How many of you were able to read Donna's letter?
I didn't read it, Donna. Sorry, Donna.
Michael, we'll just keep going and let everybody speak, and then we can come back around.
Yeah.
So I'm for a letter, but I'm the wrong one to try to put words into a letter. It won't come out nice.
Okay, and from my position, or where I'm sitting, is I think along the same lines as you. I've heard from many of our residents the same concerns. They have not been happy with his performance, and I know as a council we've talked about it before, not being happy, but we haven't really done anything about it. And you know, Slave Lake, they stepped up and they did something, and they've been working with this issue more than we did. And you know, I do commend them for taking that action, because they have been, you know, working with him, or they've told me that they've been working with him to try and get some improvements in the performance. And, you know, their letter has brought this to the forefront. It's forced us to talk about it where, you know, we might not have been talking about it if they wouldn't have done anything. So, you know, that was a good thing. But I'm on the same boat. I think we should be writing a letter outlining our concerns and, you know, that we're still willing to work with him, but he's got to do his job. If he'll do his job, then, you know, we'll continue to work with them. But if not, you know, we might take firmer action and see where it goes. Because I know our residents will want to know that we're taking some actions also. So, okay, I know Councillor Long, did you have more to add to that?
Just that the letter itself is extremely well written and very professional, very to the point, very strongly worded, but also giving him the opportunity make a concerted effort to communicate with the elected officials in the municipalities of your riding, et cetera, et cetera. She'd make a concerted effort to respond to the phone calls. Be here, be present, not just for photo ops. She covers it very well in this letter. I'm comfortable moving this as the letter we send. We all have a copy of it. And it would address, I think, the concerns of the 95% of the people in the area. I have not heard one person say, "Oh, that poor Pat." Not one.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is, you know, we all agree that there's been issues in the past. We need to make sure that they're outlined. We can, I mean, use Donna's letter as the guideline for sending it out, and maybe we can ask our CAO to draft it up, and then we can look at it and then send it out. All right, well, we have a motion right now to have a discussion. I mean, we've discussed it, or we can vote on the motion for a discussion, but I think we would need a motion to draft a letter that would go off to the MLA, right?
MLA, Premier, and probably Slave Lake as well.
Yeah, let them know. Councillor Gilroy?
I think it'd be good to make maybe the motion to write the letter, but let's see the final copy on Tuesday and then vote on that official copy as opposed to just voting on a letter to go there. I would like to, before I would even consider voting on a letter to go, I'd like to see the finalized copy, even if it's the one that Councillor Janaka did. I'd like to see it, you know, if that's what is chosen, that admin is chosen, I'd like to see it that way. But I think the bottom line for our people and our council is we're tired of words. And I think this whole region is tired of words. You can ask for forgiveness. And as you know, in my business, forgiveness is important, right, Michael? But forgiveness is really not, you're not asking for forgiveness if you're not willing to change. And so we're saying, we're giving you a chance to change. And if you change, great. If you don't, well, we've given you your last chance to change. But I think it's very important that we show that we're giving him a chance, and all those he represents a chance to actually put actions to words so that we can do the very best for the people who we represent.
It will take me all of 2.5 minutes to read this letter. If any of you have not read the letter.
I would like to just take more time to read it and then go through it and make sure we get a copy. And I think if we give that to Rod to really tweak and finalize, then we can get a good letter coming out that we would all sign and go from there. Is that good?
Actually, Councillor Janaka did a good letter. If maybe
Great
she
letter.
could work with Rod to tweak it a little bit. Would Councillor Danaka be willing to do that?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to have a discussion. We've had a discussion, so I guess I'd like to have a vote on that, and then we'd have another motion to after that. So we have a motion to have a discussion. All in favor? Good. All right. Somebody like to make a motion regarding sending a letter? Councillor Gilroy?
I'll make a motion that council direct administration and Councillor Danaka to craft a letter for that will be craft a letter to the MLA Pat Wren that will be, I guess, presented at the next council meeting. Would that be fair enough?
Could we not send it out by emails and that way it's done
Yeah.
expeditiously?
Yeah, because our next
I think
council
that's-
meeting is
It's Tuesday. Our next council meeting is Tuesday, though. It's just like, what, 3 days, 5 days away, whatever. It's not that
Yeah.
far away. And Big Lakes County's not even discussing this till the day after. So we're still one ahead of them.
Okay,
But I think you can.
that was not an issue for me.
I mean, we can send it out earlier and so that if there's any changes that, well, let's make sure we got the motion. We've got the motion. Nancy, did you catch the motion? Okay. So the next step is discussion on the motion. You know, I'm fine with that as long as we get the letter sort of ahead of time. So if anybody wants to make any changes or suggestions that they can. And then from there, we can send a letter. That would be my only suggestion before Tuesday, so that if there's any changes when it comes to council on Tuesday, it's pretty much finalized and ready to go. Any other discussion on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, that motion passes. And moving
Good.
on to our next agenda item, item 3.2, establishing a broadband motion, or a broadband committee, sorry. Can I get a motion on this one? Councillor Stenhouse.
I don't have it in front of me, but I'd like to make a motion that council establish a broadband committee.
And appoint who?
And we would appoint the most experienced counselors to this broadband committee.
Technologically experienced or just old?
No, the ones who are on the other broadband committee that have the background information on it. So I
That
don't know.
kind of experience.
I don't know if you're looking for 2 or 3, but I would say the 2 Bryans were on the other broadband committee, so they would be the best candidates for this committee.
Didn't they say that they were the ones that made the mistake?
Oh, that is true. So Arlen, it's you and I.
Just saying. I'm just saying. They had a chance already.
Bazinga. Ah,
Did you want people appointed to it tonight?
you just did. You appointed 2 people tonight.
Right.
We got to vote on it. You're muted, Mayor. You're muted. Brian.
Thank you, Mike.
Brian, there you go. You're welcome.
I think what I heard there, Judy, was it was a long motion, basically saying you're making a motion to establish a committee and you're appointing Brian at this time. Is that the motion at this to stand? Okay. So we'll open the floor for discussion, and I'd like to throw it open to Rod to see what he was thinking of for this broadband committee and what he's recommending, and then we can go from there. Oh, you're not coming in, Rod.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Wiggle your wire.
Yeah.
Wiggle.
Oh, the wire you said was shorting out there.
Yes, good cover.
Still not there.
Not working.
Yeah, there you are.
There you are.
Nope, now you're gone.
Oh,
Is that you?
that was you.
Now try.
Keep
Nope.
talking and we'll tell you when you're coming in. Not yet. Nope.
Keep going.
Working.
That was you now.
There you go.
Working.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
No.
Oh, that's
We're
brutal.
so close.
Yeah.
Don't let go of the wire.
Let go of your wire.
Holy.
Wire.
No. Man, it's been coming in fine for most of the meeting, with a couple of exceptions, so I'm not sure why it's not coming in now.
He needs a Chromebook, eh, Michael?
$40. Works like a charm. Never have to update it. Get all the channels.
Okay, well,
Working.
Rod's, did you get it working? No.
Working.
Yeah.
Working.
Oh,
Yeah.
Working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Working.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm holding it.
Yeah.
So, I guess the whole thought process was here is that, with the fast movement of these grants coming out, administration would really appreciate some guidance and to be able to expedite the processes as issues come up. And with the recent motion that was made earlier this evening on directing administration to work with Canadian Fiber on, the grant application and potential revenue sharing, investment, etc. I think it would be prudent to actually have a subcommittee that can do some of the detailed work on that initiative. And so I think a committee would be the most expeditious way to do some of that detailed work. And obviously big decisions that still funnel through council. But I think having that faster process, concentrated effort by a couple of people that can spend more time on it rather than taking a whole council meeting to discuss issues would be the most expeditious way to address this longstanding high council priority. So I know how much council dislikes creating additional committees, but I think in this case, at least for the next few months, until we find out what happens with the grant application, et cetera, I think it would be in the best interests of the municipality if it was actually passed.
okay, with that goal in mind, do you think 2 people is the right number to work on this, or did you have a number in mind?
Well, I guess with anything, you sometimes want 3, just because if it's a deadlock, then you always have issues. It's always better to have a 3. In addition to that, what happens if somebody isn't available and we need to get together on something with regards to broadband quickly to have a quorum? We'd have to have 2 of the 3. I don't think we can continue with the meeting with just the 1. So I think my preference would be 3. But that is up to council.
So who's drafting the terms of reference for this committee then?
Well, yeah, we'll have to draft some. This is, as everybody knows, this has occurred pretty quickly, and so really haven't had a chance to put everything together. So administration will have to do that. I mean, maybe we could wait and appoint people to it until we actually have a terms of reference, which give you a better idea. But it's just how fast things are moving. I think we need a mechanism for administration to bounce ideas off council members so that we can proceed in the event we have to make some like faster, smaller decisions.
So what kind of decisions and how do you see this committee working, Rod? I just want to make sure we're sort of on the same, it's not written out, but at least get a sort of that idea of a terms of reference, how it would work.
I think as you're in any negotiations, if we, especially if we go into negotiations on the revenue sharing or investment type thing, usually it's a multifaceted approach where there isn't just one answer. And when you're negotiating, you need something that's a little bit more nimble to look at the entire picture of it. So it would be probably developing frameworks for that to present to Canadian Fiber. I know there's comments with regards to, how fast fiber can go in, but maybe Canadian Fiber would like to hold off a little bit. So some of those sticking points at least can be negotiated in theory or in principle at that committee level. And obviously it wouldn't be official until it actually went to council, but to deal with a lot of those details, much like all of our other committees. So for example, we went through the recreation budget exercise. I think we spent close to 10 hours going through a lot of the details on the recreation budget. To have gone through our councils with that amount of detail, I think would have been fairly inefficient. Say having something a little bit more nimble would be, I guess, preferable. So I think that like that negotiation piece, especially if we go down that, and I think both on maybe the financial side and as far as maybe how quick we'd want to move, because there is some concerns with council as to, moving faster rather than slower. But when you're dealing with a private company that's putting in their money, maybe they'll want to go slower. So there'll be likely need to be some negotiations with that. If all council wants to be part of it, I don't really have an issue with it. So people are part of it. But it likely takes a few hours.
Councillor Gilroy?
I was going to suggest maybe he could just tweak the previous terms of reference. We already have a terms of reference for a broadband committee. If they could just tweak that, I think to exactly what he wants, I think that'd be the easiest thing on administration. Just take that back and tweak it, because we were basically asked to do roughly the same thing as he's asking for on the previous broadband committee.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just wanted to be clear on everybody to be clear what the committee would be doing. And I do think there's, the committee can certainly work with administration and the company to help with the marketing and promotions and getting the other stuff that they wanted to get set up. That's something that I see this committee could help with. And it wouldn't be coming back to all the council, that kind of stuff. We could, assist and help with that kind of thing too. I think that would, because I know they do want to get to the community. They do want to get some of those stories to help with their application. And that's something that the committee might be able to do. So just going with, if we wanted to get one more person on board, is there anybody else interested in joining? And I'm all right with joining. I don't know, Councillor Gilroy, are you all right with joining?
No, I'm actually, it's been a priority and I've spent 3.5 years on it. So yeah, I would probably say though, from our scheduling and our abilities to be at meetings, I would probably trust, if you want a third person, Councillor Stenhouse would be a good one, because she doesn't necessarily have to know the technical part of it, but she's cheap like me. she likes to save a buck and get the value for the dollar. So I think she'd be good on this one.
He just called you cheap, Judy.
So, Councillor Stenhouse, are you interested in joining or going on a broadband committee?
You and the Rock.
You're still.
You're on.
I'm trying to gather myself before I unmuted myself. I know nothing about broadband, like I said before. If you need someone there, I will be there, but if anybody else, I'm not good with the, I'm not good with the lingo or anything, but I'm willing to give it a shot if you need somebody.
Was there anybody else interested? It sounds like Judy is maybe, maybe not, but.
Get it right, because we're going to be critical.
All right, so Judy, would you like to amend your motion? Because you had recommended Brian and Brian. Would you like to add yourself to your motion?
Okay, I would like to add 3 councillors to this committee, and that would be our mayor, Councillor Gilroy, and Councillor Stenhouse. Appoint them to this committee.
Okay. Any other discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, it's unanimous, it's carried. And I know that we had another agenda item, a possible closed session, but I know it is also 11:45. We won't have time to get through it. So we'll ask administration to carry this agenda item over to our Tuesday agenda, and we'll address it then.
We're not
Okay.
going to meet until Tuesday.
Yeah, we've got a break.
Holy man. Okay.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Oh.
Good night, everybody.
Good evening,
Good meeting.
all.
Good night,
And read
Rod.
Donna's